For the next hour and a half, we're going to talk to people at different levels on different things that are standing up and asking you to stand with them and to fight back and to push back. I want to introduce you to Mike Davis. He is the founder and president of Unsilenced Majority, unsilencedmajority.org. You can follow them at unsilenced.org. You can also find them on YouTube. You can follow them there, youtube.com/unsilencedmajority. Follow them on Parler at unsilenced.org. Facebook, Unsilenced Majority, and you can sign up for their newsletter at unsilencedmajority.org. I'll give those to you again if you hear Mike and you think, I want to be a part of that. Mike, welcome to the Glenn Beck program.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me what Unsilenced Majority is.
So we are a new conservative nonprofit group. I'm leading this along with Will Chamberlain from Human Events and Andy Sarabian from Don Jr.'s political team, and Ian Pryor, who works for the Trump Justice Department. We are fighting back against the woke mobs and cancel culture. We're tired of it. We're tired of people being silenced. We're tired of people being censored. We're tired of people being kicked off of big tech platforms, censored, fired from their jobs, kicked out of schools. We're just tired of cancel culture. We think it's a danger to America. It's un-American, and we're fighting back. And we're going to try to give people a voice to fight back against this nonsense.
So you, just so people know who you are the chief counsel for nominations to Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley. You played a big role in the nominations of judges that I would assume that Trump put in and really changed the course of America. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm from Iowa originally, and I worked for Chairman Chuck Grassley last Congress from 2017 to 2019, and we helped President Trump transform the federal judiciary. I also was a law clerk for Justice Neil Gorsuch, and I was the staff leader for the Me Too fight against then Judge Kavanaugh, and we won that fight.
Wow,
now he's Justice Kavanaugh.
Okay, so now what are you planning on doing? How do you fight back without becoming cancel culture yourself?
Well, what I think we want to do, like we did with the Me Too fight, the problem with conservatives, the problem with Republicans is they just, they sit back and take it. And I think that's the wrong approach. We think that's the wrong approach to Unsilenced Majority. So what we need to do to stop cancel culture is give the left, the Marxist left, these woke mobs, give them a dose of their own medicine, like we did with Me Too. We saw this with the then candidate Joe Biden when he got a dose of Me Too, when people pointed out that Tara Reade accused him of sexual assault on his staff when he was the Senate Judiciary Committee chairman, when we pointed out others were alleged to have sexually assaulted women in the workplace, you noticed how Me Too went away, or largely went away. So the Democrats want to weaponize Me Too against Republicans. They want to weaponize cancel culture against conservatives and Republicans. So we need to give them a dose of their own medicine. And so it goes away.
So where do you think the tender spot is? Without giving away anything, how do you approach cancel culture?
We think cancel culture is wrong. We think it's un-American. Like we said, I think it's Marxist-driven. And so we see examples. We saw, like, this Matthew Lohmeyer is a lieutenant colonel in the Space Force, and he was just relieved of his command by the Biden Pentagon because he wrote a book about Marxism infiltrating the military, and he went on a podcast to discuss that book. He was essentially canceled. He lost his job over this. We saw this with Dr. Scott Atlas, a Stanford medical professor, a Stanford medical doctor on the Trump coronavirus task force, who has been talking for a year about how these stay-home orders, these COVID stay-home orders, are not following the science, not following the data, and they're actually a cure that's much worse than the disease. You have people who are committing suicide, depression. You have people dying because they're not getting their cancer screenings. He's been sounding the alarm for months. And what happened? You saw the big tech monopolists, Twitter, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, and especially Google with YouTube and Google Search. And you see these big tech monopolists, they kicked them off these big tech platforms. They canceled them for this. So what we want to be able to do is organize everyday Americans across this country to be able to engage, to be able to fight back, whether it's our own boycotts to counter their boycotts, whether it's contacting these executives at these big tech platforms, whether it's contacting executives at woke corporations like Coca-Cola or Delta or Major League Baseball, contacting Congress and really fighting back, taking off the gloves and punching back against these woke mobs.
Well, we have been asking for conservative, the GOP in particular, when are you going to fight back? Why do you just keep taking it and folding? So I agree with that. But, I mean, if you've read Cheryl Atkinson's book on, the cancellation in the media, her first chapter is about how it was really organized and institutionalized with me in the Fox days. And I can't tell you how many millions of dollars. It was estimated at one point $100 million on the left was spent to just discredit and destroy me. I'm still standing, but it would have been a lot different if we were fighting fire with fire. But conservatives don't like boycotts. They don't like doing those things. How do you convince them to do it?
I tell Republicans, pretend like these Democrats have canceled your tea time at your country club, and that will get them really, really fired up. They get very angry when you talk about things like that. No, we need to, listen, I always say that two wrongs don't make it right, but it makes it even. We need to start fighting fire with fire. Otherwise we are gonna lose our voice. We're gonna lose our country to these woke mobs, to these Marxist woke mobs. We need to fight back to save our country.
Yeah, and it's really the ideas behind our country that they're challenging. I mean, if you can't debate things, if you can't talk about things, if you can't ask an honest question and say, well, wait a minute. This is Marxism. Wait a minute. Hold on just a second. You're saying the only way to fix racism is to introduce another kind of racism? If you're canceled because of that, we lose all freedom. And we're there because I know people who have kids in school who are terrified to say anything because of what they fear might happen to their kids.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely right. I mean, think about this. If these woke mobs in big tech, if these woke mobs in Congress, if these woke mobs in academia, if they can cancel, if they can deplatform a sitting president of the United States, think about what they can do to the rest of us.
There is strength in numbers. So what is it that you would like the grassroots of America to do if they believe cancel culture is a cancer on our society? What are you asking people to do?
What we want people to do right now is we are building our brand and awareness. We just started on Monday, and so what we want people to do is go sign up for our newsletter on our website. Follow us on the website, like you said, was unsilencedmajority.org. Follow us on Twitter, unsilenced.org. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, and be ready to engage because we're going to start punching back hard.
I am glad to hear it. Please come back when you are ready to detail what you're going to do. When you start punching, you let us know, and love to have you back. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Glenn.
God bless.